Ferrari have grown tired of trying to poach Lewis Hamilton from Mercedes, which leaves only one destination for the 7-time world champion, his own team. But things aren't as easy as they seem, because Hamilton has a set of demands that he expects to be met before signing on the dotted line. What exactly does he want from Mercedes? Let's find out in today's video. Toto Wolff has set a time limit for himself by saying that Lewis Hamilton could ink a fresh £50 million contract with the Silver Arrows before the upcoming Canadian Grand Prix. In reference to the lengthy negotiations that have left Hamilton without a team for the next 6 months, the Mercedes team boss mentioned, "It is going to happen soon, and we're talking days more than weeks. We are trying hard to get it done before Canada. I will see him today and maybe we will talk about it. We have such a good relationship that we dread the moment we need to talk about money." Well, it appears that Hamilton's salary expectations have played a role in the prolonged delay. Rumour has it that he aims to reclaim his status as the highest paid driver on the grid, surpassing the earnings of the 2-time world champion Max Verstappen, who currently earns around £40 million annually. Wolff told CNBC's Squawk on the Street programme, "Lewis is the most important personality in the sport. He is multifaceted, not only with racing but also off-track, so we need to keep him in the sport for as long as possible. Lewis and Mercedes go back a long time. He has never raced for any other brand. We joined the team together in 2013, and from a professional relationship, we now have a friendship. It has been a wonderful time." Earlier in the season, there was considerable interest from Ferrari in securing the services of the 7-time world champion to join forces with Charles Leclerc. However, the Italian team has been experiencing growing chaos and internal issues. On the other hand, Mercedes remains highly confident that they will ultimately reach an agreement with Hamilton. But it's important to note that the negotiation process may not proceed as swiftly as Wolff initially indicated. There are reports indicating that Lewis Hamilton is pushing for the inclusion of a clause in his upcoming Mercedes contract as a new £50 million deal is nearing finalisation. Initially, it was suggested that the contract Hamilton signed in 2021 could potentially mark his final stint in Formula One. The renowned British racing superstar had previously expressed his reluctance to continue driving in the sport into his 40s. However, it seems that Hamilton had a change of heart in 2022, particularly after Mercedes' disappointing campaign where he failed to secure a single race victory. Ferrari unexpectedly emerged as potential contenders to lure Hamilton away from Mercedes, with potential figures such as Martin Brundle and Eddie Jordan advocating for the switch. However, both Hamilton and Wolff have maintained that their intention is to stick together, and it seems that an agreement is within reach. According to a report, this upcoming contract is expected to be Hamilton's final one in Formula One, as special clauses will be included that would facilitate his transition into a Mercedes ambassador role upon retirement. This arrangement offers Mercedes the advantage of not having to immediately concern themselves with finding Hamilton's eventual replacement, as they can rely on his presence for several more years. After the Spanish Grand Prix, negotiations were reignited, and Hamilton approached the discussions with optimism, hoping for a significant breakthrough in the talks. For those of you that missed it, here's what he said over the Barcelona weekend. "I haven't signed anything yet, but I think we're meeting with Toto tomorrow, Monday, so hopefully we can get something done." It wasn't a subtle hint. We've had so many meetings, and this is just another one of the meetings we're having. You could see today my performance is not affected by that. But it's always something that's at the back of your mind. Once that's done, then you are able to then focus more and think about the future. I'm working as hard as I can with this team, and I see so much strength within the team. They are still so hungry. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell have expressed their concerns regarding the lack of confidence they feel with the rear axle of the W14. They attribute this issue, at least in part, to the cockpit being positioned further forward compared to previous seasons. However, resolving this problem will have to wait until a completely new chassis is built for the upcoming season. To address the handling concerns and provide a more immediate solution, Mercedes incorporated an updated front suspension setup as part of their extensive upgrade package, which also included the introduction of more conventional side pods. This modification was implemented in time for the Monaco Grand Prix held last month. The main purpose of repositioning the wishbone was to enhance its compatibility with the new sidepod concept, leading to improved airflow and cooling within the car. However, an additional benefit of this adjustment is the increased ability to fine-tune the suspension geometries, which ultimately enhances the stability of the vehicle. Mercedes engineering director Andrew Chauvelin commented on this aspect, saying, "It is a case of trying to play with these geometries to get an influence on the aero platform to try and get a bit more stability in the car. It's probably given us more freedom because the issue that we always had prior to that was getting good front end when you needed it at the apex and good entry stability when you're hard on the brakes and turning in. That compromise was always something that we couldn't resolve. You're always left with either a weak rear on entry or a poor front at apex, so hopefully that's moved us in the right direction." Given that these adjustments were introduced during the middle of the season and within the constraints of the cost cap, there is an inherent compromise involved. Chauvelin anticipates that the focus on bespoke suspension, particularly at the rear of the car, will be significant for the 2024 Mercedes. This emphasis will come into play when the budget cap and restrictions on aerodynamic testing reset, allowing for greater freedom in development. Chauvelin clarified this perspective, stating, "Fundamentally, we've done a new suspension this year. Suspensions are expensive things to bring to the car, so the reality is with the cost cap, we're always looking at the championship situation. We don't know how much we will do. I wouldn't expect that we're going to be making massive strides. What we've realized is there's actually quite a rich seam of development here that we can start to look at. So those programs are working. But the challenge is always how you get your aerodynamics and your vehicle dynamics to work together and optimize. Every team's up to that kind of process, but it's looking at where are the opportunities and how can you bring the two together so they work as one package. Although Mercedes has made progress with their recent updates, Chauvelin acknowledges that they will be keeping a close eye on competitors such as Ferrari, Aston Martin and Alpine in Montreal, rather than solely focusing on Red Bull. When asked during their post-Spanish Grand Prix debrief video whether the double podium was attributed to the track characteristic or Mercedes upgrade package, Chauvelin responded by saying, "Well, probably both are true. The fact is that the update kit works very well around circuits like Barcelona with a lot of high-speed performance. The car itself would still have been okay there because we've been better at the fast circuits and the front-limited tracks. We ended up with a really good balance and really good race pace. Now, where we're going to go next, Montreal, it's a very different circuit. There are more low-speed corners, quite a lot of straight-line full throttle, and we would expect more of a challenge there. We are not thinking that we're going in nipping at the heels of Red Bull. We're going in there prepared for a battle with Ferrari, Aston Martin, and maybe even Alpine." Chauvelin further emphasized the tight competition and narrow margins in the fight to be the leading team behind Red Bull, who are currently setting the pace. He pointed out that even a minor error or a suboptimal setup decision can lead to significant consequences in terms of performance and results. This highlights the importance of precision and attention to detail in such a fiercely contested field. It will be good fun, and we're certainly going to be fighting to find every little bit of performance we can, because the way the grid stacks up now, you can be P2 or you can be P10, and there are only a few tenths in it. We are looking forward to more exciting racing, but certainly we are aware that Canada is likely to be a bigger challenge than the Sunday we just had in Barcelona. Will Mercedes give in to Lewis Hamilton's demands, or do they see their partnership with him ending as soon as he stops driving? Tell us your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.